Hey everyone, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio Show. I'm your host, Ron Fitch, and I'm going to tell the truth about Cleveland, Tennessee, and the rest of the NFL and the Errol Spence fight, college football landscape. But first, I want to talk about the Titans and the Browns. I was right and I was wrong in this game. I was right with the revenge factor. Remember, I told you Cleveland's going to come out fired up because of how bad Tennessee beat them and rubbed it in Cleveland. So they wanted to return their favor, but I thought Tennessee, off of the win versus Indy, would hold them off and win. I was beyond wrong. I was so wrong. Unlike a lot of these pundits, well, sometimes they do, but I admit when I'm wrong. I was very impressed with Baker Mayfield. They got out to a 3-0 start, and I said, well, okay, Tennessee will score. They come back. They stop Tennessee. They come back down on a nice drive. Jarvis Landry, 2-yard pass with Baker Mayfield that was set up, and the play calling was superior. And Vrabel was outcoached. The play calling was superior. And Cleveland takes a 10-0 lead after it was a reverse pass to Baker Mayfield to convert on third down. Very well done. And they end up scoring, make it 10-0. Henry fumbles. And you're thinking, oh, no. If he fumbles in his own territory, the Cleveland Browns get the ball. They drive down the field. And this is why the play call was superior, because they ran a play fake. Nick Chubb likes to jump over the top when they're at the 1-yard line. They do the play fake. Nick Chubb jumps over the top. I thought he had the ball. It's a play fake. Baker Mayfield throws the ball to the lineman Kendall Lamb, 1-yard touchdown, 17-0. I'm like, oh, boy. Now, how's Tennessee respond? I said, well, they'll probably respond at home. I've seen them come back before. They responded. They went down the field. Corey Davis, 17-yard pass from Ryan Tannehill. 17-7. But to my surprise, the Cleveland answers, and they really answered, with a haymaker, with a knockout punch. Donovan Peoples-Jones, who has replaced Odell Beckham. I was wondering who was going to be the second guy. He is the second guy. He had 6 receptions for 95 yards, and the most important was a 75-yard bomb that Baker Mayfield threw. And it was a beautiful pass. He sat in the pocket, which he hasn't done well and been accurate. It was a deadly accurate throw. And they ended up going up 24-7. All right, I still think Tennessee's come. Tennessee goes 4-0. They come right back down the field before the half. Rashard Higgins, 17-yard pass from Baker Mayfield, 31-7. I'm thinking, oh, boy, okay. They're going to have a long, hard road to come back on this one. But no, Cleveland wasn't done yet. They get the ball back again. And this time Nick Chubb jumps over the top. It's 38-7. And the route is on 38-7. And I'm thinking, you know what? I remember last year, and Cleveland came in there, and they remember how Titans just didn't just beat them. They rubbed it in and talked about it after the game. And the Titans got it back. Now, of course, the Titans added some empty calories. The game ended 41-35, but I consider it a block because there was a couple of fluky plays in the fourth quarter. But for the most part, Cleveland did their job. And Baker Mayfield was the star. Chubb had 80 yards rushing, and Hunt did what he did. But usually they're the stars. And Baker is kind of coming along as manager. He wasn't game managing this one. He straight out balled out. And he had 4 TDs, 25 of 33, 334 yards on 147 quarterback rating. Woo! What a game. On the road in Tennessee, the beatdown. And Vrabel's not an easy guy to out because it was a clinic out there. And at 9-3, Cleveland has arrived. They are a player when it comes to – they're definitely going to make the playoffs, without a doubt. Now, how far do they go? That's going to be interesting because can Baker Mayfield continue this? And one thing I did like that Baker Mayfield did, because sometimes This is why I consider him one of the bigger jerks in the sport, because when he starts to win the good times roll, he tends to get beside himself, like how he treated Jackson, their previous coach. He act like a jerk after a win, and just the way he talks after a win. Now you guys believe in me now, and all this garbage. He didn't take the bait. He said, I'm learning not to say things that come to my mind. And it was very good. Now, I don't know how long that lasts because I don't trust him when it comes to that. But we'll see. But that's a step in the right direction. You have to have your quarterback mature. And Kevin Stefanski has changed the culture as far as coaching for the Cleveland Browns. They're a player in this whole thing right now. Now, the rest of the league, there was some interesting results to yesterday's games. I was impressed with Indianapolis's win against Houston because of the fact that Houston played well, and unfortunately, Watson fumbled at the end. But Indy's tied for first place. And Tennessee, I'm very disappointed in Tennessee's effort. Okay, you lose, but not to get a beat down. And then you had the biggest surprise was the Giants-Seattle game. Man. And it looked like the Seattle and Giants switched places. The Giants were super physical versus the Seahawks. Gallman, who had a 60-yard run, played well. He ran for 135 yards. Morris ended up scoring a touchdown. McCoy was just efficient. He only threw one pick. He had a touchdown pass, 13 of 22, 105 yards. That's all you needed in that game. With the way the Giants defense played, Jabril Peppers is the most underrated player in the league right now. He can do it all as a linebacker, can play safety. And then you got Leonard Williams, who's flat out balling with 2.5 sacks. And he's just creating havoc. And their defense, the Giant defense is solid. And I believe they're definitely going to win the division. They're going to need some help. They're going to need the Steelers to win today versus the Redskins. But the thing is, they're tied with the Redskins. They beat the Redskins twice. So they have the advantage. And I don't trust Dallas. The Eagles like I said, they might not win another game, even though the switch to Jalen Hurts might get him a couple of wins because Wentz has given up as far as his confidence. He needs to move on. The Dolphins took care of business. They possibly could be tied with the Bills. And the Saints, this is what I love about the Saints. They did what they had to do on the road. Taysom Hill is not going to wow you, but he 232, 27 of 34, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's efficient, and he manages the game well. He lets Kamara run, and he had 83 yards rushing. It's just that's the game plan until Drew Brees comes back, and he will come back for the Chiefs. And the Vikings are coming. They squeaked by the Jaguars, but now they're the last seed in the playoffs. So you're looking at that. And there's some big games going on today. Buffalo versus the 49ers. I like the Bills. No, I like the 49ers. The Bills definitely could win. They're coming back to the scene of the crime in Phoenix because they have to play in Phoenix now. That's the Niner home. That's where they're going to play their home games the rest of the year. Stephon Diggs is having a great year. 4 touchdowns. 945 yards. Allen's up and down. He was bad against the Chargers. He was great versus the Rams. He's a really good quarterback. At times he can be a little inconsistent. Zach Morris is going to have to run versus the Niners, but the Niners are 10th in the league in the rush, and they're one of the best third down defenses in the league. They're 10th in third down defenses. But the Buffalo Bills, they're 2nd in the NFL in third down offense. So they don't get off the field. But the Niners force you off the field. So what's going to happen? And Deebo Samuel's back helps the Niners. Mostert's back, and you can run on the Bills. Sometimes the Bills can give up the pass and the run. They're up and down. They're a young team. They're up and down offensively and defensively, but they got a lot of talent. I got the Niners. The Bills are going to lose, and they're going to be tied with the Dolphins for first place. And that last game in Buffalo is going to decide the division, I believe. That is what I'm looking forward to. Pittsburgh and Washington is very, very simple. Washington's solid. They're well coached. You know, you're going to get a solid effort. You know, you're going to run. They're going to run. I do like Alex Smith is going to be smart. He's not going to get it down the field. But I like their run game. I like how they're running the ball. Gibson's running well. You know, they got a stud in McLaren. The Pittsburgh and Washington have the two best pass rushers in the NFL. So from a Washington standpoint, I probably would jump to short routes. I know I got a pass rush, so Ben's going to get the ball away fast. I'm jumping the short routes and daring them to go deep. What I got to lose? Pittsburgh's a better team. So this game's about mistakes. If Pittsburgh, because this is their second game in a short time frame, mistakes. If you get fumbles like against Baltimore and maybe a bad interception or two, Washington could win the game. If Pittsburgh plays a clean game, Pittsburgh's going to win the game, and that's going to help the Giants out. And Pittsburgh, from a Pittsburgh standpoint, you better win. I think Tomlin, undefeated season or not, Tomlin's preaching, we better win because Cleveland is 9-3 with a game at Cleveland. So you got to keep winning. You don't want to have two losses going to Cleveland with the divisional line. So you gotta keep winning. This is the one undefeated team that has to keep winning. With Kansas City, they squeaked by Denver, but a win is a win. They beat Denver 22-16, and Denver had an opportunity at 19-16 to come down the field and score, and the Chiefs stopped them. And the Chiefs were held to a lot of field goals. They had one touchdown drive. So they did what they had to do. So you got to keep winning if you're Pittsburgh. Don't worry about undefeated season, all the other nonsense. You worry about getting because you had no real bye week, keep winning so you can get a bye week and get home field. That's your only path, I believe. Kansas City, it doesn't necessarily mean they need the home field because they're the defending champs. So they have that mentality. We can go anywhere and win. But Pittsburgh, I think for their own mental health and for their own chance, it would be best served that you get a week off. So you better keep winning. Now I want to address, I'll get to the Cowboys, Baltimore. Cowboys have to run the ball. This is two teams that have to run the ball. You could run on Baltimore, you could run on Dallas. Baltimore's got to run. They got to run that option to a T. Lamar Jackson's got to be back. They have a full stable of running backs back for Tuesday. And then you play action. You let Andrews and Hollywood Brown get a big player too, and you do a decent job with the Cowboys run game. The Cowboys just play your potential. If you play your potential, beat the Ravens. The Cowboys rarely play their potential. You got Schultz and Gallup and Cooper and the super stud and CeeDee Lamb and Dalton's capable. You got all these, and Ezekiel Elliott and Pollard. Ezekiel Elliott and Pollard could run on Baltimore's run defense, which has been gashed a little bit. And then they could play action with all those monsters, and then you got all that good talent on defense. If they play the potential to beat Baltimore, I don't trust Dallas. I'm picking Baltimore. I've been fooled by Dallas. If Dallas wins, so be it. But I'm picking the Ravens. Dallas has more talent than the Ravens. So Dallas could definitely win, but I'm picking the Ravens. They're more stable. I think they have more to play for, and they're going to get the job done. Now, it comes to Pittsburgh and Kansas City. After Pittsburgh beat Baltimore, the pundits pretty much called them, they're the worst 11-0 team I've ever seen. They're a pack of scrubs. Big Ben is not top 10. Okay, name me 9 quarterbacks that's better than Big Ben this year. Ben has 26 touchdowns and 5 interceptions this year. Stop with the nonsense. 3,000 yards passing. Come on now. Naming now I got Breeze. Brady's the best, not this year. I'm gonna pick Ben over him this year. I got Breeze, Mahomes, and I got him over Tannehill. Yeah, I play Tannehill. I have Breeze, Mahomes, Rodgers. Those are three this year. And I'm looking. Him and Goff are about the same. Russell Wilson's regressed a little because of how Seattle's kind of struggled. You know what? I got Breeze, Mahomes, and Rodgers. And Ben is number 4 this year. And then you got Goff and Carr, who's played good, and those teams. And you have Brady and Wilson. And there you have it. I mean, come on now. That's ridiculous. And then you have this one guy that comes on Fox, and he's geeky stat guy. He's that type of guy. He's got that geeky look, and it wasn't that he was critical of Pittsburgh, but then he kind of mocks the fans. He goes overboard. And even if he did that with Kansas City, I've been critical of him. But he's that type of guy that looked like he got thrown in his locker when he was a kid. And now he got a job on national TV, and he gets to hit the bully pulpit. That's the type of guy he is. I've never been a big fan of that guy. And you have different pundits that's trashing him. Well, you're not a Kansas City lover. Kansas City barely struggled against Denver. So they're probably going to be like, well, Kansas City's not as good as we thought they were. A win is a win, man. If you're 11-1, if Pittsburgh's fortunate enough to beat Washington 12-0, you're still the top teams in the league. In December, you can't worry about stop points. You want to get wins to get days off. That's where you're at right now. Now I'm going to give out grades. The A team. I'm going to give out an A to Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and New Orleans. Solid win by New Orleans. A-. The Cleveland Browns have made the A- team. I am bullish on the Cleveland Browns. Green Bay made it. All right. Okay, Green Bay, I see you. They did have a solid win over the Eagles. I called them soft. The jury's still out. But for now, I like Green Bay. Buffalo will be A- or B+, depends on the outcome of tonight's game. If they lose to the Niners, like I predicted, they're B+. If they win, they're in the A- group in their first place. B+, Miami. You know, Tua is solid in his rookie season. Their defense their coach is aggressive, Flores. Their whole demeanor is aggressive. That's what I like about Miami. They play hard. They're out there at South Beach playing in the heat, and a lot of teams get tired, and they just have the stamina, and they have it seems like their coach imposes their will on teams. I'm in love with Miami. They got a first-round pick. They got Houston's pick. They're going to get a high pick in the draft. I like them. Very impressed with Indy bouncing back, winning their B+ team. And the Rams took care of Arizona, and they won 38-28. And what they did against Kyler Murray, they took away his run. They took away the run from Kyler Murray, and this is why I was so impressed. They kept him in the pocket, and the fact that they kept him in the pocket, it took away his run, and he had 15 yards rushing. He has one win in his career where he doesn't rush over 30 yards, and he didn't win yesterday. And he had 3 TDs and a bad pick 6 that really ended the game. Then he had another fumble because he has small hands, so he's running around with he's holding the ball wrong, and he got stripped. He's a good quarterback. The only problem is because of his height, if you keep him in the pocket, at times he guesses, and he guessed wrong. When he's scramble out like the bomb against the Bills, the Hail Mary, he's really good because now you can really see because he can, unlike Lamar Jackson, I think he has a better touch as far as throwing the football to receivers than Lamar. Lamar doesn't have the touch. He can throw the ball, but there's certain balls he can't throw. Murray can throw the balls, but the problem is his sight because he's short and trying to see over. Breeze has perfected that, but he's short in Breeze. And that's the only issue with Kyler Murray. But I got the Rams at B+. The B team is Tennessee. I'm very disappointed in Tennessee. I had them as a Super Bowl contender, and they still could because they got the formula, but man, they don't have no pass rush, so they got to fall back. And Seattle, with no offensive line whatsoever. Their offensive line is putrid. They're going to be the higher wild card seed, I believe. I think the Rams going to win the division. And you're going to get the Giants. And I got the Giants at 5-7 as my B- team. They have moved all the way up to 5-7. They're coming. Don't be surprised if they go 8-8. They're going to win the majority of their games. They're playing defense. Dan Jones will be back. Gallman is running. It's a type of team and game. It's a giant type of formula that has always helped the Giants, going back to the 90s and 80s and the Strahan years with their three-headed running back they had before with Ward and Jacobs and Bradshaw. And then that helped Eli. And now they got it back, and they got that defensive attack you, sack you, stop the run mentality. Peppers is a godsend. And I like they're trending up. I believe they're going to win a game. If Seattle is the top wild card seed and the Giants are the low division winner seed, Giants will beat Seattle again, because you can't come up with a brand new offensive line by the time the playoffs start. By the time now comes till the playoffs start, you're not going to have a brand new offensive line. So I like how the Giants are trending up. I got Minnesota. Minnesota overcame the Seattle loss. That was really bad. And the Dallas loss. Some losses they shouldn't have lost, teams that shouldn't have lost to. And they're in the playoff hunt, and they're on a roll. I think they're going to make it. They're going to be a tough out. Then I got the Las Vegas Raiders, and they shouldn't be up here. I shouldn't have them up here, but through the help of the Jets, I got them up here because that defensive – now I saw the worst fake punt call in the history of the sport with the Dallas. The worst defensive play call for the last second in the history of the sport was yesterday when you got that poor corner on Henry Ruggs. Man for man, you're running all out blips with 13 seconds left. And all you have to do is keep the receivers afraid. If they catch the ball at the 10-yard line, the game's over. You should have safeties back, corners back. I don't hear excuses. And the cornerback said, well, it's my fault. It's not your fault. And even the safety of the Jets said, we didn't like the call, but we had to, coaches called it. That was suspiciously bad. We got to keep saying the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes bad. That was really bad. I mean, Jet fans are happy. If I'm a Jet fan, I am happy because I want to get Trevor Lawrence. But my gosh, you don't want to lose like that. But the Raiders won. They're 7-5. So there you have it. Those are the grades for the NFL. I'm a pretty good professor, I think. Hey, everyone. I want to break down the Spence Garcia fight. And I watched it, and Spence did a terrific job of overcoming the thoughts of that accident. And I was worried about his face. Could he scar up? He didn't scar up too bad. What he did, and it's really important, he knows that Garcia is a terrific counterpuncher. He's knocked people out with that left hook, or he stung a lot of people. So he kept him on the end of a jab for the first 8 rounds. And what he did, if you're fighting a really slick boxer, you can't always jab him to the face. You might miss and then get countered. So he jabbed to the body, kept the distance, used his size, overwhelmed Garcia with his size, jab to the body, jab to the face, popped him with the left when he got close enough, uh, avoided a lot of Garcia's punches. From round 9 to 11, he looked like he tired a little because of his stamina, and Garcia was able to get off, not to the point where he would just hurt Spence, but to sting him. And I could tell by the way he's going back to the corner, he was fatigued because of the ring rust. He had a pretty good 12th round. He finished the 12th round pretty strong. 116-112, I thought was a great score. Garcia did well. Did well. What I wouldn't mind seeing Garcia and Thurman fight a rematch. That's some unfinished business. That was a really close fight. The problem with Garcia is because he doesn't have a terrific reach, he has shorter arms, he has a hard time starting quicker with the bigger guys. So he starts slow and then comes on late strong. He couldn't really come on strong late with Spence, the way Spence uses jab and his overall, if you could see, he was just a bigger guy. And he was able to do that. Going forward, the only thing I wonder is the stamina after the accident. The next fight, can he get the stamina to be even better? He's going to have to if he's going to end up fighting Crawford, which could be in the fall once Crawford leaves Top Rank. I'm hoping for that, to get away from Bob Arum. Bob Arum never make that fight. Bob Arum is not a big fan of making big fights with other promoters, even if it's good for the fans. He could care less. That's always been Bob Arum's. You'll see him make fights with Don King in the past, years past, when he kind of had to. But for the most part, he loves to play keep away with his star fighter. That's just the way it is. And he'll test a lie in public. The promoter didn't want to make the fight. It's the other guy's fault. We tried to make an offer. It's just baloney. Just complete baloney. But if Crawford could leave out of there and go to PBC, he'll be marketed better. And he'll have a chance to fight all the big boys in that division. You can have Crawford Porter. I take that. I want Crawford Spence, Crawford Porter, okay. Pacquiao, Porter. What would be good is Pacquiao, Porter, and Spence and Crawford. That's the bottom line. And then let the other welterweights fall back and fall in line. And Garcia Thurman could be an eliminator for the future. That's how I would love to kind of see how that sets up with that. But I was impressed with Crawford because he exercised demons. It wasn't that he was dealing with ring rust and stamina. It was the thought of the accident and fighting a really, really, really good fighter. There's no tune-up because he doesn't believe in tune-ups. And I give Garcia credit for taking those punches and going to 12 rounds. So that keeps him in the loop as far as being marketable too. But Crawford did what he had to do. I want to see Spence. Spence did what he had to do. I want to see Crawford and Spence. That is the bottom line. The college football report. Well, the top teams took care of business, really took care of business. Alabama destroys LSU 55-17. Alabama never walks into LSU and beats them that bad. It's always a tight game. But they just laid a licking on LSU. They're down, and Ohio State won. I told you guys Ohio State was going to beat the brakes off Michigan State, 52-12. Notre Dame destroyed Syracuse. Florida won easy. All the top teams did what they had. Clemson. It was a tight game until a fumble. It was 14-10. Virginia Tech is down 4. They are driving. They fumble. Clemson recovers and then laid a licking on Virginia Tech, 45-10. Trevor Lawrence, 12 of 22, 195 yards, touchdown, interception. He didn't, it wasn't one of his best games, but they took care of business, and they're doing what they have to do. He rushed for a touchdown. I'm impressed with Indiana. They're not going to win national championship, but their program is developing. Their top quarterback is not there. Their backup wins the game 14-6 against Wisconsin. Their program, they might start getting recruits. Penn State and Michigan better get it together because Indiana's here to stay. Great coach, and hey, they're building. I thought the most interesting game was Texas A&M and Auburn. Auburn, who lived by getting away with calls, got a bad call to go against them in this game. And then after they got the bad call, they're down. They're up 20-14. And Auburn's driving. And Auburn converted some plays here. And what happened is they're driving, second 11, 38-yard pass, Anaya Smith, and they're driving in for the touchdown. So Kellen Mond throws a ball, and the defender of Auburn has it easily in his hands. Easy pick. It bounces off his hands into Jalen Weidemeyer for a touchdown. 21 instead of 20-14 in the fourth quarter. Auburn has the ball to pull off the upset. They lose. You live by being lucky. You die by being lucky. They end up Texas A&M scores tax on points, and they end up winning 31-20. Now, what A&M needs? A&M needs. You're going to have Clemson and Notre Dame playing. You're going to have Alabama and Florida. That's all set. They need Alabama to destroy Florida. Okay, we got Florida out of the picture. They need Clemson because Ohio State's going to they're going to wipe the floor up with the Big Ten. And they actually could put up 72 points against Michigan. So they're going to be in. So there's one more spot left. It's Notre Dame and A&M. A&M either needs Notre Dame to win outright or Notre Dame to get crushed. Anything in between, A&M's going to have their heart broke with one loss and look on the outside looking in. I believe Alabama's going to find a way to get past Florida in a tough game. And that leaves the door open for Clemson and Notre Dame. You got to hope for Lawrence to be on fire because I can't see Notre Dame beating Trevor Lawrence, but I can see him keeping it close. And then after that, but if Lawrence catches fire, it depends on the margin of victory. 14, is that enough? 17-point defeat? Is that enough to get A&M in? A&M's got to win big the rest of their schedule and hope. That's what they have to do.